And I talked to my family, and I talked to my husband, to my aunt and my uncle, what do you think about me serving Lao food? And of course, most Lao people are gonna tell me, no, 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 no. How are people gonna eat it?
There is a sense of like this off-putting aroma, and sometimes they feel like, oh my god, it's like spoiled. It's just badek, which is the unfiltered fish sauce. I want to respect her both as a mom and as an individual who's paving the way of the Lao food movement, who's becoming such a inspirational, forceful figure to not only me, but a lot of the Lao communities across the country.
In order for me to introduce Lao food in the right way, I have to do it the way that I will cook at home. My name is Seng Lat. I'm a chef and owner of Badak, which is formerly known as Bangkok Golden. It's my first restaurant in Virginia, and my second one is Thip Khao in Washington, D.C.
My name is Bai Prachith. I am the co-chef owner of Thip Khao in Washington, D.C.
A lot of Thai restaurants in America owned by a Lao, entrepreneur. We refugees came to America, no much skill. The English skill wasn't there. So a lot of them end up working in Thai restaurant. For example, my stepdad was working in Thai restaurant and Japanese restaurant.
Knowing that what my parents have gone through during the war period in Laos and to get to America, I want to be able to know, my kids to know where their grandparents are coming from, to continue their story. That was probably a reason why I also got into cooking. If I can't learn a language, I want to make food my language, and I wanted to help them out to express their stories through our cooking.
I interested in cooking because I grew up in a big family. My grandmother had 12 children. I love being around my grandmother so much and, helping her in the kitchen and working in the garden, walking through, the rice paddy. I will miss it, so I didn't want to leave. We left Laos through escaping across the Mekong River. I was 10, 11 years old. It was during dry season, so the Mekong River was dry in the middle. So I remember get off the boat and walk on that area and going to the other side of the river. When we trying to get up on the Thai border side, we were trying to drag the grass or the tree, whatever, to get up there. There were gunshots behind us, so we would just hurry up, trying to make it through so we don't get killed or shot.
So my grandmother passed away, and there was a book that she had from a man named Peterson. He was a chef for the king and queen back in the 1700s. Before he passed away, he wrote his recipes. As I'm cooking these dishes, I have this sort of weird feeling that there are ancestors in my family that are right beside me, cooking along with me.
When I start the business, I start serving papaya salad and I slowly introduced lap. It's a mixed salad with fresh herbs that we eat with sticky rice. We already have lap on the Thai menu, but the Lao version of lap is so big in our culture. It's a Lao national dish, and it also means good luck. When we have ceremony, culture event, we always have lap. Throughout living in all these refugee camps, we get distribute same kind of food, and we kind of tired eating it, and then we have to find some sort of different things to eat. I learned different flavors from our neighbors from Central, and they are also from near the border of China and Vietnam. So I remember being so creative. Cicada season, I was helping my neighbor take off the wings of the cicada. I was like, what are you gonna do with that? And she was like, well, I'm gonna make lap. And I was like, wow, it's fascinating. That was my first lap cicada. We had done a few business and we were not successful. It wasn't me, having that pencil and paper in front of me. It wasn't me sitting in front of the computer. And my husband actually realized that I wasn't happy. So he asked me to stay home. So I stayed home for 2 years doing a lot of research, doing a lot of cooking, doing catering, gain that little experience. And I was just like, you know what? The only way I can bring my life back into having roof on, under my head, having, be able to send my kid to college was just, the restaurant. So I just have this instinct in me that that's how I'm gonna survive. I know I love to cook, but I didn't have that experience in the restaurants. And goddaughter introduced me to the owner of Bangkok back in the days. So I spent a month sitting in the restaurants, learning, the way they operating in front of the house and back at the kitchen, observing for 1 month. And I told the previous owner and I told my husband I'm ready. Even though I'm not really confident about it, I just say I'm ready. The first time, Washington Post food critic walked in, we didn't know who he was. I had read his article, I had been following him, but I don't know how he looks like. My sister-in-law ran into the kitchen. She was so excited, she was shaking. She's like, there are 2 white guys sitting out there. You have to see, they asking for Lao food. I said, okay, calm down, go and ask him what would he like. And he said he want you to make him the way you will eat it, not to American palate, not to water it down. I was so thrilled. I grabbed my moto pesto, I pound, I don't know how many chili in the papaya salad. I just pound. I was like, I remember that moment was so joy, I was so happy. I will grab the rice like this, and I'll make into a ball, and I will dip in a sauce, and then I will use my hand to grab this. And this is how I eat papaya salad.
Before I worked here, I spent the last 4 years working in fine dining. In fine dining, everything is very consistent. It goes down to the measurements. But when I started learning about cooking with my mom and learning and reading these recipes, you know what? Cooking should be about going with the flow, going with your instinct, and just using your senses. Although we work very harmonious most of the time, and then there are times where we butt heads. Mom, what are you doing? Get out of the camera. You already had your time. You had your time. I was plating something and I was using tweezers, and my mom smacked that out of my hand, and she goes, these are your tweezers, your hands.
Lao food movement is getting the message out, encourage people that it's okay to open a Lao restaurant. Like, we don't have to go under someone's shadow anymore. Most of Lao kids will say, yeah, my parents packed me a bundle of sticky rice and beef jerky, a sun-dried beef to school, and they were so shy to open and eat it. Since Lao food gets attention in DC, they feel comfortable now. So now they are sharing that meal, they cook the meal with friends now. And they were able to tell people, yeah, I'm Lao. In the kitchen, when everyone is laugh, I walk around, I was just like, that is so amazing. Serving massive of people, hundreds and hundreds of people, a day. It's surreal.